Please welcome Professor Avi Simhon, head of the Israeli National Economic Council and an economic advisor to the Prime Minister.
The economic advisor to the Prime Minister. Actually, he's usually introducing me as his senior economic advisor. He could as well introduce me as his junior economic advisor because he has only one. Let me start with an observation and a prediction. The observation is that if you are here to meet nice girls, there are very few girls in the audience, and that's quite amazing. I haven't been in a conference where the proportion of women is so low, and I wonder why. I'm saying that not just to make you laugh, I didn't succeed in that, but also because, you know, we here in Israel struggle in how to increase the number of engineers in the high-tech industry, and we noticed that the proportion of women is very small, and we are not sure why. That was an observation. Prediction. Bitcoin, as you know it, will not exist for long. And it will not exist for long because it's highly inefficient. To print money costs almost nothing. Central banks print money all the time, and it's virtually costless. To print or quarry Bitcoin, it costs a lot of money, and this is why it's not efficient. Just imagine how much would it cost to replace all the fiat money that we have right now in the economy. That would be tremendous cost, trillions of dollars of actual cost in energy. So I'm sure that this inefficiency, intrinsic inefficiency, will cause a dramatic change in the way that digital coins are being produced, and this is why I predict that the Bitcoin will disappear. Right now, the Bitcoin is an asset. It's a speculative asset more than a currency. You know that legislatures have to decide whether to qualifying is not a word, whether this is an asset or a currency. And right now, the tax authorities in Israel, as well as in most countries, label it as an asset and not as a currency. So this is regarding the Bitcoin. Now, I'm still quite confident that money as we know it will change, and we'll have digital money, some sort of digital money. As I told you, not the Bitcoin, something else, but we'll have something. Now, I've been asked to talk about the macroeconomic and the monetary implications of Bitcoin. So let's start with the fact that the Bank of Israel is issuing every year something like 5 billion shekels. Now, this is actual money. The bank is printing the money. It costs it nothing, and then it can use the money to buy good things, pay salaries to its workers, renovate the building, and still left with many billions of shekels. In the case of the Israeli central bank, it buys with it dollars, hoards huge amounts of dollars. In case of other central banks, they use the money to actually give it to their governments, right? The Fed is handing the federal government in the United States tens of billions of dollars every year as profits. Now, what does it mean by profits? It's just, you know, it costs nothing to print $500 billion, and the $500 billion worth $500 billion. So it has profits, as are other central banks. So the question is, can governments afford to give up this money, what we economists call the seigniorage? And the answer is yes, yes, we can afford. Governments can afford giving up the money and saying, okay, in the sake of greater good for the citizens, or for our citizens, we'll give up this free money that we make every year. So I guess this is the main macro effect, the fact that governments will have to give up this seigniorage, the really large amount of money that they make on printing money. The commercial banks make much more money on printing money. They don't actually print money, but they use the currency that the government is printing in order to create more money. And there, the profits of the banks in Israel, we are talking about something like 40 to 50 billion shekels every year. For those of you who don't know how much it is, it's something like $10 billion. This is how much the commercial banking system is earning every year from creating money. And once we have digital money, something like the Bitcoin, then there won't be any need for that money. So, yes, we are giving up a lot of money. We, I mean, the state is giving up a lot of money, a lot of revenues, if it allows this industry. But it's worth it. It's worth it because once those digital currencies are being produced, as I said, more efficiently, then it would make the banking system more efficient, and the fact that the banking system would be more efficient is something which is highly desirable. I'm not a great fan of the banking system and think that we need to protect them and allow them to make these profits at the expense of the citizens. Now, the last minute that I have, something like that, I would like to talk about digital currencies. The Bank of Israel convened a team, which we were part of, to decide whether we are going to issue digital shekels. And the decision was not to do that. Well, there is one, by the way, I'm not sure that that was a good decision, but there's good argument for the move of the Bank of Israel, for this actually committee led by the Bank of Israel, and that is the fact that no other country did that. Now, the Swedes said that they are going to issue digital currency, and they are going to do it probably this year. If this experiment succeeds, if this pilot, as they defined it, if it succeeds, then I'm sure that all central banks would issue digital currency. I know that the Bitcoin has the advantage over digital currency that it's anonymous. I don't think that governments would allow it to be anonymous because of the fact that it would assist in financing terrorism, it would assist in laundering capital. No one, I'm sure, not even you, want that thing to happen. So once there are digital currencies, and there will be digital currencies, this system of anonymity would not be allowed to stay, because we cannot allow, as I said, this kind of financing to be used for financing terrorism and laundering capital. So good luck, and thank you.